Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this informal session. And today's topic is devotional service. What is devotional service? So, in the Nectar of Devotion, there's a definition of what pure devotional service is. But before we touch on that, we can actually understand what Srila Prabhupada says about what devotional service or bhakti yoga is. In general, bhakti means, Sanskrit means actually some kind of, that's a connotation. Bhakti means there is some loving exchange or affection, something you like, but more towards love and affection. It's done in a way that the person who's doing it is doing it willingly. There's no force. It's like a mother takes care of a child. And, the whole attempt in taking care of a child is not forced on the mother. It's a spontaneous action. And you may have seen it anytime a child cries, the mother will just get up and run. So that is the type of devotion we are talking about, bhakti. So Prabhupada says bhakti means devotional service. What are we devoted to? In this case, the activity is intended to please the Supreme Person. So therefore, the service is to please that Supreme Person. So therefore, when we say devotional service, it's bhakti in short. But because there's a methodology behind it, and also the intent behind doing bhakti is a goal. And so therefore, it's bhakti yoga. Yoga means to link up to or connect. Bhakti yoga, devotional service. An activity intended to please the beloved. In this case, it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now we did discuss a little bit yesterday about the origin, and we had some lively discussion. But again, we need to understand that the whole idea behind it is that when the living entities are created, they are given enough intelligence and abilities to do service. Right? And they can do their service completely with that intelligence that's been given. So they have that ability. But at the same time, they also have the ability to be independent. And so the choice is there. And in the case of all of us who came into the material world, we chose not to serve. We chose. The Lord cannot force us. And according to Prabhupada and the Acharyas, that is like a rebellious nature. He also defines it further, saying it's almost envious action. Actually, it is envious, because why the Lord has to enjoy and I can't enjoy? So that situation is incompatible in the spiritual world. It is deemed incompatible by the Supreme Lord Himself. And therefore, that rebellious nature is considered sinful. And one who is sinful is like a criminal. And so to correct that, the Lord puts us in the material world. Just like at home, the parents are always loving, but there are rules. No one can say the parents cannot have rules for the child. There is rules. You can argue why is my father putting so many rules, right? I'm going to do whatever I want, then that's real love. But that's not true. You will say, no, this is not good for you. You don't know what you do. You may get injured and do other things. So similarly, there are rules within this material world also. All right, you can enjoy, but there are rules. There are certain arrangement. You can enjoy, and you can enjoy forever if you want. But Karanam guna sangasya sadasabhyom sijamyasya. The living entity has a tendency to associate with the material nature, and he associates with the modes. And according to that, he's going to act differently. And Prabhupada gives the example of, if you look at a normal light bulb, it shoots a yellow light, right? Now, if you take a color paper in front of it, then the light changes. So similarly, the living entity is affected by the modes that he associates in the material. And so he tends to do things against the principles of a satisfied life, so to speak. At the same time, the Lord also gives them the opportunity to either remain here and be contented, or have the ability to come back and have their original position eternally. And that process is what we understand as bhakti yoga, which is devotional service, which is what we hope to understand about devotional service today. And so it depends on how much we intend to get out of this material world. Because even if you look at any living entity, there's pleasure for every living entity in this world. They are satisfied to a greater extent. And they're covered up by the material nature, and they are contented. And the example that we quote from the Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Indra. He once did some offenses and he became a pig. And then he was cursed to become a pig. And so he was a pig, and he had a pig wife and pig son and pig daughter. And so he was cursed for a certain period of time. Then Lord Brahma realized that there's no ruler in the heavenly kingdom. And so he said that Lord Indra has already served his time being a pig. So he came back and said, Indra, it's time to come back. And Indra said, no. He said, why? Oh, I'm happy. Happy, wallowing in the mud. I'm happy with my pig wife. I'm happy I have my pig children. I'm happy being a pig. Brahma said that, that is not, compared to my position and yours in the material world, I'm in a better position. So how can you say you're happy? But Indra said, no, I'm happy. You can go. And then Brahma wanted to help him out, and so he killed the pig wife and the pig kids. And then Indra realized, everything is temporary in this material. And so then he gives up and comes back. The material world is like that. When you associate too much with the material energy, you tend to embrace it that much more tightly. So Bhakti teaches us how not to embrace so tightly material nature. Now, to develop bhakti, we need to be under some proper guidance. We cannot on our own understand how to do bhakti. Unless from previous life you're carrying on. So there may be some spontaneity. Sometimes you see people come to temple, automatically they like, oh, I like this. I like the kirtans, I like it, can I chant, I like all that. So you see that also. So they may be continuing their journey from many lifetimes. So the methodology is important, and it has to be, in general, guided. Okay, so that's important to understand. So in Rupa Goswami, as I said earlier, he defines pure bhakti, because we can do bhakti in different ways. You can do a little bit bhakti and then go back and do other things. So there's Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, which means mixed. I'll be working outside, but I like to come to the temple. So that's like Karma Mishra. I'll give some donation. Jnana Mishra is, I like the knowledge aspect of Krishna. So I study about Krishna, but at the same time I have some mundane things that I also pursue. Not completely purely focused. But in the pursuit of knowledge, I put more effort rather than doing service. So that's like Jnana Mishra, means mixed. Mishra means mixed. Mishra means sweet. No. That's Mishti. Mystery. So those are levels. But pure devotional service is known as Rupa Goswami's term is Anya Bilasi Krishna, Jnana Karma Jnana, Anukullena Krishna, Shilanam Bhakti Uttam. Devotional pursuit of karma, no jnana, no monistic understanding, like that. So when it's devoid of all that, and it's exclusively for the pleasure of Krishna, and continuously serving, that is called pure devotional service. Okay? That's the difference between just devotional service and pure devotional. In the material world, the pleasure you can compare also with spiritual. The spiritual pleasure is eternal and it's ever fresh, ever new. And so. Whereas in the material world, you can get a few drops of pleasure here and there. Just a few drops. You get some happiness, some pleasure, but then it's not sustainable. And that's why we pursue more, or we seek happiness. We are always seeking happiness. Because by nature we are, what are we? Yeah, so by nature we are spirit soul, always blissful. So we look for bliss everywhere. And that's why you find that there's a tendency for you to look for happiness. So you're looking in the wrong places. The devotional service therefore helps us to look in the right place, for the right reasons and to the right person. That is what bhakti is all about. Any comments thus far? Yeah.
Practically speaking, now that is something we would aspire for, but as long as we have this family life and all this going on, there will be some kind of that mixture of the ever say, because until you get to that point where you can go, but you can aspire at this time. That's all my understanding is.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yes means it's a fact that due to other commitments, we tend to not put the emphasis on the full devotional service. Yeah. And no, because we don't really want to experience full devotional service. We say yes, but in reality we are not willing to give up the challenges in material life. It's a hard. So therefore, generally, the path to getting to the stage of pure devotion takes many lifetimes. Ahitugya pratiyata, yayatma suprasida.
It's not considered.
It is not.
For us, it's not considered.
What do you mean not considered?
Ahayatiki.
Yeah. Why you say it's not considered?
For us, we cannot completely surrender. If God gave the mercy, Ahayatiki.
Causeless, you're saying.
Causeless, yeah.
There is, but your intent must be sincere. Right? So, if you're sincerely doing it, then the Lord who's in the heart understands. Your attempt is sincere. So even if you lack causeless, then He gives you the mercy. That's acceptable. But most of the time, our intent is our own pleasure first, and that's where we don't get the causeless mercy. But you're right. He says that. Yeah. Yeah, so to practice, since you were asking about, we are stuck and so on. So therefore, the process by the acharyas is to do. They give us a methodology which will give you the results, and that is called sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti. So what is sadhana bhakti? This, as I mentioned yesterday, is regulated principles of devotional service. Chanting, taking prasadam, doing service, deity worship, reading the scriptures, coming to the temple, associating. These are regulated principles of devotional service. And you can look in books of nectar devotion, the do's and the do nots. Okay. So those are regulated. So if you can do that, and if you are really focused on it, then you're sincere. Yeah. If you just do one or two things and then come back and say, it's so difficult, but you're not truly putting the effort in it, then you're not sincere. That's what sincerity means. You should do and you try and you try and you try. You don't give up. Right? You try and you fail, but then failure means you learn something. So you try again. Say, this is good for me, and I try. Not that, I did it one time, wash my hands. That's not the intent behind it. So sadhana bhakti is for us to practice, daily practice. Why daily? Because early on I said, we take birth according to the different modes we associate with. So therefore, we have gone through this birth, death, old age, and disease cycle, the samsara, forever. We've been living here forever, so to speak. And therefore, there are a lot of coverings in our heart or our consciousness. Right? It's like when you're cooking, you burn the milk and it burns the bottom of the pot. How easy is it to wash? It's very difficult. That's our case. We've associated and we have so much dirt in the pots. It takes a lot of cleaning. So Bhakti Yoga, when we perform that in the first stage, sadhana bhakti, it teaches us how to cleanse the heart. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Dharmana Marjan, Bhava. So that he says, this one has to chant to cleanse the heart of all the coverings, misgivings. And it's not overnight thing, because we don't know how to do it perfectly, right? Just like when you jump the high jump, right? The pole, you may run in front and then just jump like that, and then someone will teach you some techniques, and then you master the techniques, and then one day you jump over. Very nice. So the same way, sadhana bhakti is like that. You practice and you practice, always asking the Lord to be merciful. And you practice. And one day, You get the divine grace. That's what grace means. The Lord's blessings and mercy is given to us. And so that is devotional service. The whole intent behind devotional service is to please the Supreme Lord. And that's also a challenge. Right? Like you were saying, you have a family, and you have Krishna. Family, Krishna. Family, Krishna. Right? Family. Most of the time, that's what happens. And therefore, the Lord also sees and says, oh, okay, that's fine. Next time. So we always come to the crossroads in all our lives. There's always this right or wrong. Whenever we take the path of least resistance, that's the material energy. Because material nature will give you things to enjoy immediately. Whereas the Lord will test you first, to see whether you are ready or not, or qualified or not, so to speak. There's this eligibility for us to do it also. So anyone can take up Bhakti Yoga, anybody, anyone, there's no restriction. Okay? But the execution is where we all fail. Right? Most of us fail in the execution of that consistency. Yeah. So that's what I mean, the execution. No, some people are very consistently chanting also, but they are not focused on it. They may be just counting. I have to do it. I have to do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, then the number. Chanting is not just number. Actually, the idea behind chanting is to connect with the Supreme Lord. You are praying to Him. That's what it is. It's prayer beats. You're praying. Every Hare Krishna and Hare Ram you say, this is the Lord begging. It's meant to be begging. You know? But because we're not trained, right? First day you come and here, take, chant, go. Then you're like, oh, okay. And you chant. I mean, it has its benefits, but you're not developing the relationship, the loving affection for the Lord. Those aspects not really properly delivered to a newcomer. And that's why we make mistakes. But try to understand this and learn that actually you're meant to, when you chant, it's between you and Krishna. You're calling out to Him. And to Srimati Radharani, His concept, say, please engage me in your service. That's what you're doing. So when you're saying, engage me in my service, then you're looking around. It's like you're calling someone, right? Hey, come here, I want to talk to you. And then when you're coming closer, you're looking somewhere and say, hey, come here. And then you're like, not. And then when you're there, they say, hey, you're calling me, but you're not interested in me. So that's what we do most of the time in our practice of Bhakti Yoga. We chant, but we don't mean it. So yeah, so in the beginning you can excuse the way we start off, but we have to come to a point and say, I have to be serious. So therefore I say no. So when you become seriously chanting, then two things happen. You become purified, and then your understanding grows. The Lord reveals more information. As soon as you come to that stage, you're becoming more and more realized. Realize that you are not part of this world. It's set up to bewilder us, or in delusion, like yesterday we discussed.
Sarvaswami in Sankhya Purva.
Oh, the Sat Goswami, yeah. Sat Goswami is on that level, no?
They are saying Sankhya Purva, that means you have to finish around to somehow or others.
Somehow or other.
Yeah, we have to finish round 2.
Yeah.
I mean, our mind is not focusing, that's why we have to give up, because mind is not stable. It's not like that. We have to finish our round 2 also.
Yes. But you see, that's again, you know, it is true that we have to finish the set number, but how you do it is more important again. You can, like I say, you can be 50 years doing it. Bahu janma gare nishavana kirtanam tabuttaya paya Krishna pade pramadana. You know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you can, for many lifetimes, one can take birth and keep chanting and chanting, but you can never get prema if you do not do it properly, or if you are committing offenses. Yes. So you can take many births doing Shravanam and Kirtan, but if you are not really doing it properly, no results.
Chanting with the holy names also starts showing mercy, and then it just kind of becomes spontaneous without doing much effort, and it just kind of flows.
It happens, it will happen, yeah. But you have to develop that relationship. That means when you sit down to chant, you have to say, this is between me and Krishna. That 2 hours or whatever. You can't like chant and do, you know, internet surfing, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wow, Hare Krishna. You know, it's true, right? We do that. So we have to start restricting those things. So whenever you realize you're doing this, stop. And you chant. That way the Lord knows you are sincere. And then He reciprocates. But if you don't put the effort, how can He reciprocate? How can He reward us? So you're not putting the effort. Now I'm waiting for you to do the effort. I'm willing to give myself, but you're not doing it. So you can't blame Him on the one hand. So we get rewarded according to how we perform. So if you're very sincere, then you will try your best to do the activities properly. So yeah, so to do devotional service sincerely, then at the same time you have to reject. You accept things favorable, you reject non-favorable. These are forms of surrender. Right? Then you accept Krishna as the maintainer and protector. Then you completely surrender to Krishna. Whatever happens, you're my Lord. And then you have to develop humility. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinarapi Samucha, Karurapi Samucha, Manina Manani, Kritanya Sama. You say if you are humble like the blade of grass or like the tree, which tolerates the extreme weather, then you are able to chant peacefully. If you are humble, then you have nothing to think about and worry about. So then you can chant. But then if you have too many things in your mind, you're thinking, I have to do this, I have to do that. You're not humble. You think you have to do all. Right? Actually, things go on their own if you carefully look at society, right? Doing your own job, you think, I have to go and finish tomorrow. But if you drop dead, the boss will just hire someone else. Isn't it? Fact, that's reality. That we don't have to accept certain things. So therefore, Rupa Goswami explains that how you can actually become more surrendered is by doing those 64 items of devotional practice. If you look at nectar devotion, he says what to do, how to do, come to temple, pay obeisance, sit in a certain way, sit on asanas, don't sleep, don't do this, don't do that. Okay, then that's one aspect of it. Then the other aspect is, all right, I try to minimize association with material nature. That means you don't, let's say, before you became a devotee, you spent most of your time with your friends, either window shopping or just cruising down the highway or whatever you do, right? Or playing football, like that. That was your. But then once you understood about devotional life, then you want to become serious. Then you have to minimize those things. Cut down slowly. You can't just chop everything off, because then it'll become a cold turkey syndrome. Right? You're like, yeah, I'm going to stop. Then the next thing is you drop everything devotional and run out. Say, I got to do this. I got to go and party. Things like that. So yeah, baby steps. But every day or every few weeks, you're making some tangible improvements in your lifestyle. Has to be done. Tweak, cut off, tweak, cut off, like that. Until, okay, I don't. So maybe you're a meat eater. It's fine. So I'll stop eating meat, but I'll eat fish first week. Then I'll give up fish. No more meat, but I'll take eggs. And then a week later, no more eggs. Like that. You wean yourself out. And because you're sincerely trying, the Lord within your heart will give you the ability to go through it. So these are all practices we have to understand. Oh yeah, I have to do it slowly. And then you wean yourself from, okay, you go to a football match, and then at the end of it, they have tailgating or something like that, or whatever they call it, drinking session and all that. So you say, no, I'm stopped drinking. Slowly. But it shouldn't be like 5 years, you just, today I give up. No, within 6 months, you plan to give up. Some people can do immediately everything, but some have to wean off slowly. And so we shouldn't judge someone who takes longer to someone who gave up, or compared to yourself. Now, oftentimes, we've been through the same process, but we forget. And so we are so quick to judge others. But we should be compassionate. But yeah, that's the person, they'll come around, they're good people, and you pray for them, right? And nobody prays for anyone. If at all, people curse each other. What the hell? I hope my boss don't come today. I hope he gets sick. Right? Well, I hope there's another 9/11 so the whole country stops and I can sit at home. I had enough of this. I mean, of course, that's extreme. But that's how we are. We always want to cheat ourselves and cheat others. Yeah. So it's important to identify practices properly. So the 5 things that can help our devotion increase is, Rupa Goswami mentions, these 5 most important things is reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So you should practice daily to read, okay? At least 1 or 2 verses a day, minimum. If you can read a chapter, whoa, great, excellent. Right? But yeah, you guys are so hardworking and helping the economy, being so great and so on. So you don't have time. So at least a couple of verses every night, and you find it will help. Just like they say, you can't break a rock immediately. It takes a lot. But if you drop water, slow drops, you won't see it, but 1,000 years later, you'll see a big hole in the rock. So similarly, if you read every day, it's going to make a hole in your consciousness, your material consciousness. You give way to spiritual understanding. So yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, practice reading it. When you don't understand, you ask, come forth, talk to some devotees, to the temple, call them up, I have a question, I don't understand. or I'm very skeptical about these things, right? Like that. So all this will help you understand better. The more you ask, the better you will understand, right? It doesn't mean that you cannot understand, but sometimes some people just read one time and they can accept it. So that's important. That's one thing. Then the other thing is coming to the temple. It's important because you get
Blessing from Krishna and devotees.
devotees and the Lord. Whenever you come to the Lord and you take a humble position, He gives you blessings. So therefore it's good to pay obeisance. You're taking a humble position. Right? And also in the Dham, this is called a spiritual place. So everything here belongs to the Supreme Lord. So therefore, by coming here, you get purified. That's also a mercy. Okay? So what is speak of those who are living here, right? They should be more purified. So it's like that. So Dham, and then association with the devotees. Among the five, association is the most potent. Because the devotees will chastise you and they purify you. They put you where you are. You may not like it, but then you realize it's good for me. So it's the quickest way to get purified. And you learn a lot through devotees much faster than if you're on your own. Right? They'll tell you, come here, cut the vegetables, wash this, okay, you can chant, sing this. Well, what am I doing? Don't worry, just do it. And after a couple of weeks, you know what you're doing, the whole process. And then you read, you say, oh, that's what I was doing. Okay, that makes sense. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. Always be like that. So association is important. Quickly, when you do something nice, 5, 6 devotees get happy. As soon as the devotees are happy, Krishna is happy. So then when Krishna is happy, you make advance quickly. But when you're at home on your own, chances are you can't make advance because your mind will be telling you what to do. I want to go to the temple. No, you just been there yesterday. Yeah, but I liked it. No, you need to rest. You need a break. You've been working so hard. That's how the mind talks. And then you say, yeah, I actually need a break. Anyway, I didn't get much yesterday. It's just boring, If it was a big sannyasi, one of the fabulous 5 or something, fat 4, then I would have gone. But I know it's a fact. That's how people think. Oh, you laugh.
Excellent.
It's hilarious. That's how people think. In the mind, you have to become. When you become a devotee, you automatically become a psychologist. You can psychoanalyze half the whole world. That's a fact. Because that's what we are doing. We are practicing controlling senses and so on. Your senses become refined, right? So when someone new walks through the door, you can smell them because they've been eating onion and garlic. Yeah, it's a fact. That's how it is. They won't know it, but you will like. And then, it's a fact. So it's like that. So yeah, association. And then you come to the temple also, you get to chant more, kirtans. So therefore, we recommend people to chant even at home. Particularly this age, the best way to realize, come to the platform of realization in devotional service is through chanting. Okay? So, I know we touched a little bit on it, but yeah, chant. Chanting must be sincere though.
Why is Krishna so hard to please?
Why is Krishna so hard to please? It's like if you want to purchase the most expensive diamond in the world, how much do you have to spend? It's an analogy,
Like,
right?
analogies never work for me.
For you, yeah.
Because analogies are always only listed in one part of the thing, not the whole thing.
Not necessarily, it gives you an ability to understand that.
One side.
Yeah.
So here's another side analogy, for example. Say I'm a teacher, right? And there are a bunch of students in the class. Some of them are the best ones, they do their homework properly, they come to class regularly, doing everything amazing. It's so easy to love them.
Yes.
But the people who really need my help are the ones who are struggling, and then they're the ones who need attention, and you need that extra. They're sincere, they try to come, but they're not fully there yet. So those are the people who need more attention. Everyone can like the best students. It takes real courage to like the students who are struggling.
Yes.
So yeah, it's so easy to like people who are perfect with a heart of gold.
Yes.
Everybody can do that. Krishna can do that. It will show his real love if he's like people like me who are struggling. So why is he always so stuck up?
No, it's not stuck up. I think it's your perception.
I mean, I would love some interaction with you people going.
Yeah.
So like, why does interaction only come to the best of people?
Krishna speaks to different people. He speaks to the books.
Last time I was never.
No, it does. It's just that when we are not at the level of understanding, right? You can't see Krishna.
See, that's my point.
Yeah.
Why such high standard?
It's not. It's not.
I have to be at that level before I can interact with him. I have to do this much before he can reveal himself. Why not at my level?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are the three modes of material nature. If you are interacting with the modes of material nature, by default you're going to be covered up.
He can easily remove them.
No. That's where the problem lies. You are expecting Krishna to do everything, and then you become like, a robot. You don't have to do anything.
I have a very simple explanation, and it's like, hey, give me some sign that I'm on the right track, and
This is a sign.
This sign
Coming
is
to this is a sign that you're on the right path.
like you say that, did Krishna go into the next right sign?
Well, I'm speaking Krishna's word. Yeah.
They have told me that, but what's the proof?
You see, okay, you see our practice. Yeah, I see Krishna when I go into the temple.
Like, how are you sure that, that's not, just a student? Sorry for being,
Yeah, that's fine, but I believe my predecessor, who has also achieved that all the way back to Srila Prabhupada, all the way, so it works.
So basically you're saying that, like other people have told me that what I believe.
In this case, there is a disciplic succession.
Like, this person told me, and then, that person was told by this person and that person, until it goes into this untraceable place, like.
No, we can trace in about.
Like to the most original person?
Yes, yes.
There is, that's when the real,
Yes.
so far in history it's become untraceable.
No, it's there. In the front of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada gives you the whole disciplic succession.
Like, it's historically traceable up to some point. But beyond that point, it goes to, like these figures which are there in scriptures. But,
You see what you have to see, the evidence is in the person themselves, how much they have changed.
Like, I can join a cult and people encourage change,
Yeah, but you see what is favorable and what's not favorable.
I can join a group session, I can join alcohol anonymous, and then I'll change and stop drinking, those kind of things.
Not necessarily, a lot of people go back.
Yeah, just
But
like
you look at statistics, no?
Same here, statistics, I think.
Yeah, so you look at the statistics, see how many people change their life for better.
Same statistics in example, like, maybe you think all the people who come here get changed, how many people go back and then come back.
That is true also, I'm not going to say that. But the proof is that you put yourself through the process, and then you see whether you get some results.
Yeah, like, what, like, I honestly speaking, like, I only have one question in life, and that's just this. And I guess it exists or not. And if that question is clear, all the philosophy is taking, all the things that are derived from that point, things will become clear. That is the biggest issue. And you might say, oh, I'm not there yet, or I'm clean enough yet, or my desires are not sincere, but I know like I've been looking for only this one and settling many years now. And I haven't met a single person who can conclusively say something which I cannot explain away just with the functioning of mind. So, like, yeah, I can, come to a temple and feel happy, but that's the nature of mind. I can come, and do all these things and I can feel happy doing that, I can do this, I can understand that's the function of mind. What's the sign of Krishna from over there? Like, what's the real sign over there? Can you give me some sign that, alright, here's this thing which cannot be explained away by the function of human mind? Human mind is amazing, it can do amazing things.
There are, but at the moment I can't tell you, but there are articles written by devotees who I can give you a reference later on. And then you can just read those.
This answer for this question is like, in chapter 10, verse 10.
What does it say?
He can't accept that.
No, like, see, when people are buying a car, how much we argue with the salesman? Like, this is something.
There are two things. One thing which is there. One is you need to be having some kind of a mercy of the God itself. The fact that you are having the mercy of the God means that you are being. There are some thousands of people living in Chandler or in that, but of them only some 10 people are here, and we are listening to the word of God. Obviously, you have been the chosen one.
No, but that's not what he's saying.
Necessary.
Yeah, that's not what he's.
So many people go to like other groups, they are the chosen one. It's right to put the chosen one of the God, for example.
Yeah, but the more you
No, the bottom line is you can't just say yes we are, and I can't say that I'm right or wrong, because that, as you said, it doesn't mean anything. You observe and see the results.
Yeah, what are those results?
So you see us how we change our life, and you compare with different groups and you see which is better. You can do that.
Yeah, I have done that.
Yeah.
Go to any particular, religion.
No, you haven't seen all of us in our lives completely.
I mean, enough, like 3 years, 4 years.
No, you've been coming for 3-4 years.
Not here,
Okay.
but like other places.
Well,
And then so many other, like I looked around other places too, and like people change lives. And that goes for non-religious people. You go to a church like a non-denominational church, they don't talk about God at all, and you just talk about good things about life. People change.
No, but you have to see all the practices. You're not seeing all the practices.
So give me some sign which is like
Well, look.
which I cannot explain by other things.
No, you see, different groups will give you different things, right? So you compare and see what are the differences first. And you see what are the things that we are doing extra.
I see no much difference actually.
No, you do this. You are not doing a
I've
proper analysis, and then you're just saying something.
Trust me. I mean,
Why should I trust you?
See,
Just like you are saying you don't trust
I
me.
have a question. Is it wrong to say that maybe if you don't expect anything for some time, just do chatting, just come listen, just keep it open?
I agree with that,
I
but
did
you know,
not
like,
ask you with that.
no, I
How
totally
is that
agree. Like,
wrong?
suppose I'm a scientist, I'm searching for something. Oh, there's an initial sign, I'm going to do my experiments. And then I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying.
Srila Prabhupada,
After 1 year, 2 years.
Srila Prabhupada was speaking to the police commissioner. That is why he says, you give me one building with all these criminals, and we'll show you we can change them to better citizens. And he was saying what? Well, we'll put them through our system of no meat eating, no gambling. He said, I got all these drug addicts and hippies, and now I made them into happies. But the other people, they can't do this.
So like Jonestown, there's so many communities which have, and there are no hippies anymore. What happened to them? Somebody changed them.
Yeah, they all begin to work.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Like when people are buying a car, they argue so much to buy that one thing. And what you are selling us is 1,000 times more important. What you're saying is going to dictate my whole living. What I think in the morning, what I think before night, and where my money goes, where my time goes. I'm going to fully critically think about what you're going to say. So I'm going to have questions. And to be fair, like this is true. Like I've been to, as I was saying, there is a church in Phoenix. It's a non-denominational church. They're not talking about God itself. They get together, they discuss things about how to be compassionate, how to be nice to people, And you know, they have life experiences to share to us, which are very transforming. So you can't claim that only people who come to art temple or or you who here are the ones experiencing those transformations. Go around talking to people and see transformations.
No, I agree with you.
So like
But-
now
but-
initially you said you won't agree, but
No, in this particular discussion, yeah. But at the same time, I'm saying you have to practice first. This whole process is not something that's so intellectual. You know, you have to practice.
So something like you're using a materialistic look, that I pay something, I need the result.
Yeah.
no,
So
like
in this issue is like this. You are
judgment is heavy in this group.
See, the question is even a monkey can do miracle, like you do that and say, yeah, I whisk out some kind of a statue out of it. That's magic. Will that make you believe? No, it does not. You don't believe that, right?
So okay, like you know, I know if I am asking these questions, I'm gonna get these kind of responses, you know, like, but trust me, like I am. This is not my first time asking this question.
No, no.
And you know, like this is not my only place asking this question. And I want to be very honest in my search. Just because I want to, you know, this idea that you know there exists a person, Krishna, who we can have a perfect relationship with, that's the only thing that motivates me. Otherwise, you know, other things, there are thousands of things that we discuss about over here. That's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, well, just because I really want that doesn't mean I'm going to accept if that's true or not. So I'm going to do an experiment. Alright, if you want to do an experiment, you have to do these kind of things. Fine. But you know, like, just like a pregnant lady, you know, she wants to have a baby, it's going to take 9 months, she can't expect results immediately. But there are signs on the path. At some point, the baby's going to start kicking. At some point, the baby starts to grow. You know, there are signs on the way.
Yeah, so
like,
similarly,
what are those
if
signs?
you practice this, that what will be, you will develop an affinity to love Krishna deeper. That's one thing. The second thing is you will not be attracted to material things.
You know, that's how mind works. You keep on feeling one signal, that's how mind is going to be.
No, not necessarily. No, that's
It's
not
the very
true.
nature of mind.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I can take a person and I can, you know, like take a person in a different culture. You know, they are from the very beginning told that you're supposed to, you know, find one mate and have kids. And then my parents taught them, but that same mindset that in fact that you came right from the beginning, and that's all they think and understand. That's human mind. If you know, are in the social media movies and they're gonna tell you this, you after 7 years, of course you're gonna, you know, like even give up other things and do that. That's the symptom of mind. It's not a symptom of spirit soul or a symptom of sign from Krishna. What is the real sign from Krishna, which you can say, which I cannot explain by the word of
पर वो तो यही बोला है भावना ज्ञान बहुत जन्म करना पड़ेगा आपको ज्ञान का अनुशीलन आप गीता मानते हो तो नहीं मानते हो तो पड़ेगा
That's what it boils down to, you know?
Except that, that's the thing.
So, like, is there some independent science? Because if you
This
want
is science.
Yeah.
Yes.
like, is this so? This is the best sign we have that you're going to lose interest in material things, and then,
It's beginning science. There are other deeper science that you will see, you will develop.
for example,
No, first you need to change properly.
like, would you believe me if I say right now that I do not have any material aspirations?
No, I can't believe that.
Exactly. So you know, you can't even say that, you know, whether I'm having those signs or not.
No, by the way you act and talk and behave, I know you have material desires.
See, that's really
It is.
But yeah, see, I'm asking these questions. Here is the thing.
No, I'm not saying your questions are wrong. At the same time,
See,
you know, it's a
like-
valid pursuit. What you're saying. As I said, I will point you to some articles written by, you know, very well written articles by some very advanced devotees. They go into deeper experiences and so on. And maybe that will help you understand better.
That's,
Yeah,
we'll try it.
yeah. Because you want something tangible.
Reciprocation.
Yeah, reciprocation.
Okay, like, you know,
So
it's-
I can point articles where you can read
You know, and let me
about
clarify my position.
reciprocation.
I'm not asking for much. I'm not saying that, hey, Krishna, be with me 24/7, or you know, do this for me, this for me. No, that's really not what I'm asking at all. All I'm asking is like, here is what one thing which I did, which is one people really like me to do. Is I associated not just with devotees, but also with other people of other faith. I try to see what there is, process. I talk to 80 people for 5 years and see what there is thinking process. And after seeing all those people, I was like, no, they do have a valid point. So I'm not asking.
True. You know, Prabhupada once said, there was I'll give you a story where this, he quoted this thing. A few students came to this music teacher and they wanted to learn how to play mridanga. Okay. Yeah. So you've heard of that, right?
That's again analogy.
No, that's no.
It's not that I have to unlearn these things.
No, because it does affect your consciousness, the way you think, the way you
opens your
perceive.
mind.
No, that's your understanding.
See, you know, if, for example, I'll give you one example, right? You are forbidden by the rules of society not to talk with malevolent people, right? And not to associate with them. Or try that once, you know, try that, try to see.
Oh no, you're gonna have to go and try. The 90% of the world is like that.
You can't judge a person without listening to their point.
Oh yeah, we do listen to them. You can't see me
Right, and
quickly, you know.
talk to the malevolent people, they give you much more plausible interpretation of scriptures. And of course you might expect.
Okay, I have a small thing for you.
Alright.
Yesterday, did you see there was this spacecraft, new Voyager, went across Pluto and it sent back nice photographs of Pluto and stuff like that, right?
I
You see this?
didn't, but please continue.
So it had this nice images of Pluto, it had nice images of Saturn. Of
Oh,
Jupiter and all.
Pluto.
Now, the question is, just because someone said, you've never seen that, the spacecraft sent some message, some kind of a data, it sent it to some center in California, and from that it processed, and then they came up with this nice image. They said Pluto is 11,000 feet high mountains and stuff like that. You believe that, don't you?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
There is a difference between a scientific process.
So what is the process? I want the scientific.
It's a peer review process. There's a peer review that goes on. I can go right now to the observatory in California.
Yeah.
I can ask for those images, those images will be there.
Yeah, but tell me, images went across 3 billion miles,
Right?
because they can be distortion also. It's an electromagnetic wave, right?
True.
And it has so many gravitational fields. It can be influenced by them. How do you believe that?
How do we believe it? Because we did experiments with those. We sent space shuttles, spacecrafts to a bunch of other places. We see how the waves are interacting. So we have an uncertainty analysis. And even given this information, this is the amount of error. We do experiments and that's what we see. It's not, you know, scientific evidence is not just like it's believing simply. There is a huge process of
You said peer review. Peer review is again human endeavor only. Some humans are coming and saying, yeah, this is they're vouching for it. I review papers. I say someone sends me a paper. I have belief in them. Because I know something, I say, yeah, this is right or this is wrong. Now, the same thing with
we are not saying
when
right
you
or
can
wrong.
believe a data which is being sent from 3 billion miles, and then you say, yeah, this is Pluto. You go and agree with it.
We don't just believe that they are coming from 3 million miles. We do experiments. We do an uncertainty analysis. What is the error in the data? We test this analysis.
Anyway,
that's how we do it. It's not a very
Anu, listen. According to our understanding from our scientists, right, the sages and all, we consider them scientists. The human beings are with 4 defects, and you must have read that and so on. So whatever analyses they do, there's always some flaw in it. Whereas the scriptures and all are considered our Purusha, that means they are not of human origin.
Okay, on that point. So you believe in scriptures, right? That means you believe that Earth is flat.
No,
Yes.
see, that is your understanding.
There are dimensions given.
No.
Circular, C,
No,
circle,
again,
C,
you that's because you don't understand. It's called dweepas. It's not flat.
the whole dimensions, the whole structure is given very clearly.
Yes, but it's
and they give you the
no.
distance of that.
It is there's perception. One is geocentric and one is solar centric, and it is the view is given from a third party view that Sukadeva Goswami is explaining.
Sarabhat Prabhu in his mind spent a lot of time and describing, trying to make sense of this universe, and his conclusion was that
Thank you.
So, no, like scriptures give you distance from Earth to Sun, not correct according to measurement. It gives you the distance from here to Moon, not correct according according to scriptures, the day and night are caused.
Yeah, but what does Sarabhuddha say? What does Sarabhuddha say about the distance?
Whatever he says, I don't know, but I know what.
Yeah, so why didn't you go and read that
No,
first?
because I know what Bhagavatam said, that description of universe, isn't it not?
No, because he proves it that it works. So you read those books.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Vedic Cosmography by Sarabhuddha.
Yeah, I have read his book actually.
Well, go and read it again.
See, that's
only one person. Does Krishna exist?
That's only my question. But his point is, that's my only question. And his point
You
is,
have only that person.
that's my only question. I don't care about the universe at all.
Okay.
The reason why I'm kidding is because you made this point that scriptures are perfect. I'm giving an example. Hey, this is
just because you cannot understand the scriptural teachings doesn't mean it's not perfect.
That's a cop-out answer.
No, it's not a cop-out. It's the way you are answering is cop-out also. You post whatever the scripture says because you can't accept it. Because all you want is
I am not making any interpretation over
Yes,
there.
you are.
The description of universe in Bhagavad Puran super clear. With dimensions, with structures, the structure of the mountain, the sun going around the mountain on a big axle, the speed of the sun, the distance of the stars, everything is super clear. I'm not putting any information over there. And those are not correct.
Anyway.
It's very difficult to argue with people who come up. See, the idea is like this. How old are you? I'm asking you this question. 29. So in 29 years, you think that you read all the scriptures, you know everything,
That's
read all scientific. I'm asking you this question because this is very valid to whatever thing. People have spent ages trying to master the scriptures, and even one single verse they have not been able to interpret it perfectly. You know this? No, you don't know that. This is a Bhagavad Gita. It's got only 18 chapters. Okay? 18 chapters. I can tell you people have spent an entire lifetime trying to figure out what the reason is behind the Gita. If you're reading it very thoroughly, yes, it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. So tell me, what does it make sense? Like I can tell you one of his chapters here, 6:6. For him who had conquered the mind, and the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So what do you understand from this? Nothing. Unless you understand the entire rationale behind it, like when you say scientific, you claim that you are a scientist, you are an engineer. Unless you knew Newton's laws of motion, you are not going to go further into the higher. You can't go and start talking Maxwell's laws. So you need to, unless you know calculus, you don't know Newton's law. Unless you know Newton's law, you don't know Maxwell's law. So the idea is, you need to go in stages. So what you're trying to do is, you're trying to understand from the top, and then you say, yeah, I don't understand this, this doesn't make sense to me. And then you say this whole thing is trash. No, I'm not finding fault with you. No, I'm not finding fault with you. It's something very natural.
Just answer a very direct question.
So the question for you is, you say, where is Krishna for you? Now the question is, I'm also in search of Krishna. I've never found him. I know I have to do more effort. I spend a lot of effort, but I don't find him. But it's not that he doesn't exist. Just because I cannot see him, just because I can't feel him, it doesn't mean that this doesn't exist. So the question is, now
Simply answer is Krishna exists.
the question is, it's not the question is just because you cannot see it or I cannot see it, that doesn't mean that Krishna doesn't exist or the God doesn't exist. You talk of that you've gone to non-denominational churches and stuff like that. Yes, you go there. You say that they understand everything about what life is, about God, what is. Everyone talks of the same thing. Unless you have the faith in it, you're not going to get anything in return. You need to have the faith. First thing, you need to have faith. Like when you were a small kid, did you learn walking all the way yourself? No. Initially, you caught your mother's hand and went. And when you caught your mother's hand, did you always feel, oh, she's going to throw me into the well? No.
What's your name? No, what's his name? Huh?
Takeshwar.
Tankeshwar Prabhu. Yeah.
Shivas.
No, I just want to say you brought up nice valid point. I don't want to say it, but faith is not something that you can get very quickly. It takes many lifetimes to build up your faith. And then once that comes to a certain level, then you get the mercy of the devotees, where you get Shraddha and association. And it takes many, many lifetimes, according to our scientists.
Why? You don't have to call scientists. It's not about scientists.
For in his way, that's how he's thinking. And
It's
I
not
want
about
to.
science, it's about logic.
No, but this is also. It's not logic. Listen. Actually,
Go read the description of universe.
I don't want to read about no. I'm not interested in your
Listen.
in Bhagavatam. You go and read.
Okay, let me just say, please just let me say one second. The whole point he made was this, that alright, I might not be perfect, scriptures are perfect. So therefore I'm going to accept
it's based on faith.
right? But my point is this, alright, you say that, alright, let's go to the scriptures. There is one thing in scriptures which we can test and tell you, and it doesn't tell you. So how can you
So how do you know? Okay, then let me just.
Exactly, I asked him that. Yeah.
No, he always believes on an image just because he says that's corrected by them, because it's peer review.
Yes. But he cannot
Peer
accept
review
this
is
as
peer review
peer
taken
review.
done by human beings only.
So
So against
have
the law.
you read the structure of universe in Bhagavatam?
I'm not interested in studying
Well,
the structure of
please
the
read.
universe. Why should I read about the structure of the universe in the Bhagavatam?
Then
I
you
can
see that
I can read the. I can go and check the NASA
To be
stuff.
continued. To be continued.
Yeah.
So,
No, I just wanted to finish off and say
Okay.
that Srila Prabhupada says this is the science. Okay? And I'm telling you that. That's what it is. You don't have to believe it because you don't have sufficient faith. That's a fact. And I don't want to say, but Prabhu brought it up, but that's part of your problem is that it takes time. And it takes the mercy of the devotees for you to actually come to that understanding. It's not going to be simply reading something and understanding. Even if I were to give you the answer, you will not be able to understand it.
It is true. People have spent their entire lifetime trying to understand the meaning of this.
Yeah, no, your point is right. Now you can.
so thank you all for attending today's
And
class.
thank
Anup
for always giving a lively.
giving some spices, some pizzazz
There's
to our
nothing wrong. I don't take any offense in it. I think it's interesting for me also because it makes me think in a different way. So next time, future, when I meet some person like you, I may be, be able to answer better.
We are all learning
Yeah.
a lot. So I really appreciate, and I honestly do, I appreciate your questions, and we are trying, as I said, do our best to get you the answers, because there's
That's
just
why you put me over there.
So tomorrow evening we have a home program at Anand Prabhu Radhika Mataji's home, not too far from here. It's about 15 minutes or less, around there, and just off Chandler Boulevard. And we're going to be discussing characteristics of pure devotional service. We'll be starting at 6:30.
You can read
Maybe
about
Prashant.
that if you want. Nectar of Devotion.
And we'll
Second chapter.
we will have a short program, and Prashad will be served there, and we have some kirtan there also. So please join us at Prabhuji's home. Will you be able to come?
We'll see.
Try and come if you can. And then Saturday also morning we have a program, and the class is going to be offenses to be avoided. That's from 10 to 12. And then in the evening we're going to have a home program, Qualities of a Devotee. That's in Phoenix. If you'd like to come, you can give me the address. It's an open invitation to a home program. And then Sunday morning we have humility versus arrogance. Really important in our devotional service for all of us. Extremely important to be humble. We need to recognize what is what. And then on Sunday evening feast lectures, one of my favorites. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna is the topic. And then Monday evening we are going to do a recap of everything that we learned from Prabhuji's lessons. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for lessons today. And thank you.